What up, everyone? We're back with another Artifact Nike forging video. We're going to focus a lot on the Air Force One today. That's going to be hopefully releasing sometime in the winter or fall. But there's also a clothing collection that comes alongside of this. So let's dive in. Right now there is a mint happening, and just like the previous hoodie that we covered, you needed a Clonex to get access to this private mint that is happening. So there's 20,000 Clonexes out there, and obviously only 20,000 people would be able to access this. There's a variety of different items available. It's split up in a couple parts. One, everyone who owns any Clonex period gets access to a specific collection, which includes socks, a t-shirt, a Nike Air Force One, a hat, and a hoodie. The shirt is free, so we're going to add that to our cart right away. No brainer there. And then a variety of different things. Everything is kind of expensive. If you're just looking at it from a typical in real life clothing perspective, these are $40 socks in Ethereum pricing in USD. This shirt is $100. The hat, a little $50. The hoodie, I think $200 and so forth. And the Air Force One is $600. So definitely by no means is any of this stuff cheap. It's very clear to me that Nike and Artifact are positioning this brand as a premium, luxury, high-end, whatever word you want to use, fashion brand. And that's what we're seeing through Avatar, and I think where a lot of the appeal comes from for Nike for having acquired them. So there's access to the Genesis collection, which again, anyone who has a Clonex can get and add to their cart. And I'm going to go ahead and add the Air Force One as well, and skip everything else. Now, based on what type of Clonex you have, what kind of DNA your clone is, you get access to other collections. And there is a total of 10 different collections varying in rarity based off how rare the DNA is. The most rare is the Alien. You'll see here the max supply in Clonex is 20,000, and the most rare is the Alien at 60. Following that is Murakami, and then from there there's Undead, Reptile, Angel, Demon, Robot, Human, and again also Murakami. You can see the supply counts at the top of each page and then the amount of items that are available. So a variety of different options, variety of different collections. Again, the only way to get access to one of these collections is based on the DNA of your Clonex. I have a Robot, one of the more generally available DNA types. So for me, I'm also unlocking another collection of clothing, which includes socks. I'm going to go ahead and add just one pair of these socks to the collection. Another Air Force One. I'm going to only add one here. I'm allowed to get two of these, but again, at $600, I'm going to stick to one. And also from a secondary marketplace perspective, these are trading basically for the same price. So if I change my mind, I think I can go ahead and get another one. At the same time, I would like to complete the whole collection of these Nike Air Force Ones, so I'm going to save my Ethereum for the other versions that I currently don't have access to. There's some pants, which is really interesting. This is very Nike ACG type of pant. It really comes from that family line of product from Nike, and it looks like each has individually got a different branding based off the type of DNA for your Clonex. So I'm going to add these as well, just because I'm curious about quality of these products and the pricing. I think the shirt is interesting, but again, not necessarily a fan that I personally need to add this here to this mint. I'm going to buy another shirt on the secondary market in OpenSea just to see what the quality of this stuff is, as well as a hoodie. But I'm personally not going to wear this, so I don't want to mint it right now. But it is accessible. I'm going to mint two hoodies. Just for the sake of having them in there. We'll give one away. And then also two vests. One's going to Ruben. Shout out to Harland. The vest here is a unique item just for the Robot DNA. So it's there's only one version of this vest. The shirts, the socks, the hoodies is available across all 10 collections. So this is more of a rare item. So I'm going to mint it as well. Hat, I'm going to skip. The interesting thing about all of this as I alluded to here on the DNAs and supply, just because there can be 20,000 items doesn't mean there's going to be 20,000 items. It's really up to the Clonex ecosystem and people who hold the NFT. Do they want the Air Force One? Do they want this merchandise? I think a year ago, you could say this in a lot of things in sneakers, especially, this stuff would be max minting and flying and probably have a lot of secondary volume at a profit. That's obviously not the case right now because of the secondary market, just everything in the economy and inflation and all that stuff that's affecting people's general spend. This stuff is expensive. So while there's a lot of opportunity for these to be big collections, they're going to be fairly limited. And, when you look at something like, if we pop into the Murakami collection, this is the Murakami Drift. I don't have access to this, and also I should note, this clothing is not Nike branded. I have not seen any Nike branding on any of the clothing or merchandise. While it is nice, in my opinion, the best, it's more because I'm familiar aesthetically with the Murakami look that it appeals to me. But this Air Force One is going to be limited to 6,000 pairs. This is easily one of the most limited Air Force Ones Nike ever does. When they do collaborations, they generally don't only do 6,000 pairs. Now, that's assuming every single person who qualifies to get this sneaker is going to mint this sneaker. That's definitely not going to be the case. So it's going to be really interesting to see how limited these Nike Air Force Ones are ultimately at the end of the day. And there's a bunch of them. So let's walk through them. This is the general Clonex Air Force One black. Looks like a gel swoosh and a gel blade with contrast stitching. Again, a nice looking Air Force One. Expensive. Again, I'm hoping the quality is definitely premium in these builds. But this is going to be the most accessible. Up to 20,000 units can be made, which is still fairly limited at the end of the day compared to most Nike collaborations. You've got Murakami, which we just showed. The very familiar print that we're all accustomed to across the shoe on a white Air Force One with the Clonex vial here from Mint, which is a great little touch, and Nike branding throughout as well. Going from there, we've got the human DNA, probably the most appealing to me just from like a casual perspective, because this is a nice sail with that blue, really hits nicely. We've got the robot, got this reptile metallic type of look. And while this is spinning, you'll see here there's a little NFC chip in the corner. So all of these items that we're showing, the merch and the sneakers, are going to be tied to the NFT with an NFC chip. So you're actually going to be able to tie the authenticity to an NFT, which is going to be really cool. I think this is Reptile, if I'm not mistaken, just by the look of it. Again, no, this is Demon, sorry. Nice Air Force One. If you're curious, there's an AR feature on the website if you want to try this on in augmented reality. We've got Angel here. More of the more basic looking Air Force One. Again, clean, easy to wear. It looks like a translucent toe box inside, like the Clot Air Max 1s and React 87s, which is cool. I like it nonetheless. Reptile, these are crazy and shiny. Probably the one I would definitely not wear personally, but that's just me. Undead, again, interesting design. There's very much it's very cool to see the Artifact brand come together with Nike in an official collaboration, and them doing some interesting things. But again, these are cool. Probably not my favorite. This Murakami is beautiful, very, very, very rare. I believe if we just go back real quick into the DNAs, that Murakami Air Force One is part of this collection with a max supply of 196. That is crazy, crazy limited. So when we're talking sneakers, there's a situation, if everyone mints and everyone claims, then if the NFT for a sneaker, which Artifact has not confirmed is going to happen, but at this point, if that doesn't happen by the end of the year, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Because they've already done it with previous Nike Air Force Ones, done with Nike hoodies, so I think there's just some sort of reason for the delay, whether it's logistics or market timing. I don't know, doesn't matter, but my expectation personally is by the end of the year, I will be able to use the NFT that I'm going to mint today to claim a physical sneaker. If that all goes max mint, max 100% claim, there's only going to be 200 pairs of these made, and that's a really, really rare piece of sneaker history, an art piece, Murakami, Nike, Air Force One artifact. It's really, really, really freaking limited. This is currently trading at a crazy premium. I want to say when I looked, it was at about 14,000 USD for this NFT, and then it goes all the way down to 600. This version of the Murakami is going for about, if I'm not mistaken, about $800 USD. Again, I'm just going off the top of my head, but somewhere in that range. 0.5 ETH, 0.6 ETH, trading around there. Alien is the last one, the most limited, only 60 available. Ultimately, pretty cool, but again, I wouldn't be shelling a premium to acquire this personally, because this one is so limited. It's very, very expensive. But that is the whole Clonex Nike Air Force One collection of 10 sneakers. The physical sneakers that you can see here cannot be forged during this forging event. So there's a forging event happening on September 7th. Forging equals you use your NFT to claim the physical version. That's what they call forging. And they give you another NFT back. That NFT that you get back, you will use to connect to your physical item for authenticity purposes through the NFC chip. So that is the whole collection. As I mentioned, I only have access to the Clonex Air Force One and the Robot Air Force One, but I'm going to hit the secondary market at some point in the coming weeks to acquire the Murakami, the Human, and potentially the Demon and the Angel, depending on pricing. I would love to see those 6 sneakers in person, review them, talk to them, show them, because again, I don't think a lot of people are going to have access to this. And inherently, this is a really early point in potentially, a future of the sneaker industry. That will be interesting to look back to see where all these things go, for good and bad, but we're going to document it anyways, because again, not everyone has access to these or can afford it, and I think it's important to document it all. So I'm going to pop back. We've kind of shown you guys the different DNAs, the different sneakers available. Some collections have unique items throughout here. Ultimately, I don't have access to everything, so I'm going to add what I have added to cart, go from there. You can max mint everything, which I'm not going to do. I have some items in my cart for about 1.62 in gas fees. This right now is 2 USD. That is $2,500. That is a lot of money for a couple Air Force Ones, and some hoodies and some vests and stuff like that. But nonetheless, we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna hit checkout. You're gonna see everything that we have access to and we can mint right now. You have to check off and agree to the terms. I'm gonna load up my Ethereum and come back. But ultimately, there's a lot of different product available. So let me load my wallet, come back real quick, and we're gonna go from there. You can see everything here that I have listed and available that we grabbed in the mint, including the pants, the free t-shirt, the 2 Air Force Ones that we had access to, the socks, 2 hoodies, and 2 utility vests, and obviously the Clonex that we own, and the Nike Genesis Crypto Dunk. From everything I'm seeing, it feels like the next step for Artifact and Nike is that the Monolith 2 will open doing something. Probably another sneaker inside based off what happened with the first one, maybe another vial. But this Nike Dunk Genesis, the URL's not working, but nonetheless, this Nike Dunk Genesis, there's vials associated with them. My expectation at some point in the next, let's say 2 quarters, so 3 to 6 months, we'll be able to forge the crypto version of the Dunk with the vial to create an in real life sneaker. If that's the case, TBD, but that seems like a logical next step in this whole experience. And this is all leading to that. But obviously the Air Force One has to come first, so it's going to be really interesting to see where it goes from there. If you're not a Clonex holder, you can come buy this stuff on the secondary market. It's going for a premium right now, a premium-ish. Nothing too crazy just yet. I think to me personally, the most interesting collections are the Murakami DNA, which is very, 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 very limited. As you can see, the Air Force One I mentioned earlier is going for $7,500. That's a lot of money. There's also the base Murakami drip collection, a little bit more affordable, quote unquote, with different items, hoodies, and Air Force One. But overall, the best part of this entire collection, as we've been kind of talking in this video, is the Nike Air Force One. You can see them all here, with the most expensive being the Alien, which is going for $8,164 as of right now, down to Murakami Drip, and then I believe this is Reptile. Oh, Undead for just under $2,000. Reptile as well, just under $1,500. That's prices dropping there. All the way down to the end of the spectrum. I don't know why anyone would mint this for 0.38 ETH and then immediately sell it for 0.32, 0.33, 0.34. I just don't mint it. But if you want to burn money, that's a great way to burn money. Feel free to do it, people. But yeah, this stuff is available in the secondary market if you're interested. But regardless, we're going to be documenting it. At some point, claim the physical. Claim the NFT for a physical Air Force One. When that will ship, when that will arrive, I do not know. There needs to be lead times and there's supply chain issues, so I'm expecting it could be 6 months before we get access to a physical sneaker. But when we do, we will document it, review it, talk about it, etc., etc. Really, at that point, again, September 7th, you'll be able to claim the NFTs that we minted for physical items. We're not going to document that when it happens next week, because it's going to be very, very standard. That doesn't require really us to document it. If you're curious what that looks like, go watch the last video with the Nike Air hoodie. That goes into that gives you an idea of what that's going to look like. So that's going to be a wrap for documenting this. If something happens, we'll be back. But we're going to continue to track the Nike Artifact series of product and releases as it goes down. It has been now just 9 to 10 months since Nike acquired Artifact, so I'm sure they got some stuff up their sleeves for the holiday, and let's see what comes from that. Thanks for tuning in.